guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome to today's video. If you're new to the channel, hi, welcome. My name is Jessie Riyad. Welcome to my space. Here I create a lot of amazing content. I know you're gonna enjoy this. Please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, comment and share. So we are heading to a Sweden reaction that says 5 things that Swedes do stroke don't tell my family members about it. Okay, so I think it's the guy. Yeah, all right, so let's jump into today's reaction.
For the most part, being an American living in Sweden, like Americans and Swedes, we have a lot in common, but after having lived here for over a year now, I've noticed that there are some things that people in Sweden do that are just a little bit weird for me. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the top 5 weird things that Swedish people do.
Okay.
Now the first thing that I think is just a little bit weird is that a lot of times Swedes will avoid eye contact with their neighbors. Now this is different depending on where you live in Sweden and who your neighbors are, because I know some Swedes that have great relationships with their neighbors as well, but in a lot of cases Swedes actually, avoid their neighbors. And here I've lived in this place for like 15 months and I'm not really super close with any of our neighbors that live in this apartment complex. Like, sure, if I see them, I'll say hi to them, but it's not like a lot of places in America where they have tight-knit communities with their neighbors and their people that live close by to them. And this especially sticks out to me, not where I'm from, but like in the Midwest. People in the Midwest are like extremely friendly. Like when I go to visit my cousins in Nebraska, they know all their neighbors and they have neighborhood barbecues and parties together. And like if a family member from one family gets sick, all the people in the neighborhood will get together to help that person. And so that's a really, really cool vibe that people are so open and friendly in some of those communities. I would say in Sweden, this pretty much is not the case. Typically, the neighbors, they don't go out of their way to talk to each other a whole lot. And, they actually kind of avoid each other.
What are you doing, by the way?
Making sure there's no neighbor outside.
And you think that's normal?
Okay, now.
It's not that Swedes are rude, it's just a different culture here. They do keep to themselves a lot more, and that can take some getting used to from people who come from different cultures where people are a lot more open.
Isn't that the whole point of having neighbors, is to meet them?
No, the whole point of having neighbors is to fill the other apartments in the building. Hey.
Oh, here we go. Hello, my name is Bruce, and this is my girlfriend Emma. I moved into the build. Okay. We'll see you around. I think we're in floor 2, but...
The second weird thing that Swedes do is put ketchup on their pasta. Now I gotta admit, I'm actually guilty of this now that I've lived here for like 15 months. Like, I've done this several times now. I'm kind of used to it. Like, they'll make macaroni noodles and meatballs and have ketchup there, but like, don't tell my Italian grandparents that I do this, because I think they would have a fit if they knew that I was eating ketchup with pasta. The first few times I saw this, I thought it was extremely weird. And
Guys, how true is that? Dodging your neighbor, like avoiding your neighbor. You literally stand at your door to watch and make sure nobody is passing before you pass out. Like, that is literally weird and culture shock for me. Then for the pasta, for me it's not weird. You can literally eat ketchup with pasta. It's not weird. It's not new to me. Yeah, that one's not new to me. I'll scratch that particular one. It's not new to me. Maybe for him it's new, but for me it's not new to me. The one that is still shocking me till now is just the avoiding of your neighbor. Like, yo, and the video he used to describe how Swedish people avoid their neighbor, that video is hilarious. Okay, yeah, so if you're from Sweden, let me know how accurate this is. Okay, or is this before or it still happen now? I would like to know that in the comment section. That is a culture shock for me. Yeah, so let's keep on watching.
pretty disrespectful to the pasta, to be honest.
Somebody touch my spaghetti!
Growing up with amazing Italian food back at home, like, it is kind of weird to me still, but it is kind of convenient if you want a quick meal. You know, it works, and it is just something that they do here in Sweden. Now, while we're on the topic of food, a few other things that Swedes do that I just think is a little bit weird is they will use like a fork and a knife for everything, whether they're eating pizza, hamburgers. I've seen people several times eat their hamburgers with a fork and knife. Now, this I have never seen in America. And also, like when you buy pizza in America, it usually comes pre-sliced, where in Sweden, a lot of times people will cut their pizza with a fork and a knife. Or if you make pizza at home, sometimes they'll even use like regular scissors to cut their pizza. I've never even seen that before in America. Pretty much we only use like pizza slicers, and everything's get pre-sliced. If you were at a restaurant or something and you order a pizza, it pretty much always comes sliced, so it's easy to just grab it and eat it slice by slice. And also to that point, I noticed that people don't really eat food when they're on the go as much as they do in America either. I think a lot of that has to go back to like the fika culture that they have in Sweden, where people like to take a break, relax, and sit down and enjoy a coffee or a snack or whatever it is they're going to be eating. And a lot of times in America, people are so on the go and in a rush to go to the next place and do the next thing, and just so busy all the time that it's not uncommon to see people eating while they're walking down the street. And I also do this in Sweden. I'll just buy a protein bar on the go and eat it. You see people in the movies that will be in New York and they go eat a hot dog from the local hot dog stand, and they're just eating it on their way to the next meeting or something. I mean, that's just kind of how it is in America. There's a lot of like takeout food, you know, fast food on the go, and you can just kind of eat on the run. Whereas in Sweden, people relax a little bit more, and maybe that is related to like the fork and knife culture, because when you're on the go, you can't really eat with a fork and knife. I mean, that'd be really tough. Have my little plate and cutting while I'm like, nah, I just don't think that's gonna work. The fourth thing that strikes me a little bit odd about Sweden is that a lot of times people in Sweden will actually have kids before they get married. And no, I'm not talking about like on accident. A lot of times people will just do this, and it's not something weird here in Sweden, where in America, this is really, really uncommon for people to start a family before being in a marriage. But here in Sweden, marriage isn't as big of a deal as it is in America. Actually, like if I were to marry a Swedish girl, it wouldn't have any repercussions for my permits and things like that.
Cut him right there, okay? I feel most countries have their own way of lifestyle and the rest in general, okay? When it comes to having kids outside wedlock, most countries and most culture, they don't mind, okay? There's some people that feel being married is being stuck, but when they have this open relationship whereby, okay, they have it in their mind that it's just only, they're only doing maybe fiancé and fiancé or boyfriend and girlfriend, they know that they are not totally committed in that, they stay longer. But when they like brand the relationship like marriage, they feel trapped in it. So everybody is different, okay? So I feel that some Swedish people, okay, they also practice the culture whereby they marry before having kids, why some don't marry before having kids. So I feel it's just personal. Yeah, personal. Yeah, that's what I'll say. Yes, then the food, eating as you go, is different in every culture as well. He said that the Swedish people always have a little time to eat their food, maybe because of the knife and fork. That one got me, like, you cannot be eating knife and fork when you're walking on the road. That one made me laugh so well. So this is pretty interesting. I'm finding out more about Sweden. I have a lot of playlists about Sweden, a playlist about Sweden. You can do it to check it out. Yeah, a lot of video is there. So let's keep on watching.
Basically in Sweden, you can become a sambo, which just means like you're a registered partner living with the other person. And basically in the eyes of the government and the migration office, being a sambo is just the same as being married. So you don't even have to be married to get all the same benefits basically as being a sambo. So I think in general, people in Sweden get married a lot later than they do in America. Like I've got friends in America who are already getting married, and in Sweden, people wait a lot longer. They'll wait till their late 20s, early 30s a lot of times to actually get married, which is a big difference in the culture, and I think that's totally fine. Like I myself personally am not looking to get married for quite a long time. I have a lot of goals and things that I want to accomplish before starting a family, but in America things kind of happen in a certain order a lot of times. Like you meet a girl, you settle down, you get a good job, you get married, and then you look into having kids and starting a family. Where here in Sweden, because marriage isn't as big of a deal, sometimes you'll just be with a person for a long time and decide that, hey, you want to have kids, and it's not necessarily weird to have kids before marriage, which in America, that's not common at all. And the last thing that I think is just a little bit weird here in Sweden is the TV tax that they have. In Sweden, if you own a TV, people will actually come to your house and see if you have a TV, and then if you do have a TV, you actually have to pay a special additional tax on it. And now that we're living in 2018, almost 2019, that sounds crazy to say, I feel like 99% of people are gonna have TVs, so why not just tax everybody? I think it's just kind of weird that people have to like come to your door and check if you have a TV or not. And even if you don't have a TV, I mean, in my personal situation, I don't watch a lot of TV, but I've got an iPad, I've got an iPhone, I've got a laptop, and I'm connected in this digital world just like everybody else. I think it's kind of odd to have people calling you up and coming to your house to see if you have a TV, because at the end of the day, does it really matter if you have a TV or not, as long as you're connected some way? I mean, pretty much everybody's connected in some way. So I just think that one is a little bit weird as well, especially in a country that already has so many different taxes and different rules. Why not just make it uniform? So with that being said, guys, those are 5 things that I think are a little bit weird about living in Sweden and Swedish people in general. If you have not subscribed to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I will see you in the next video.
So the number one thing that shocked me right now is the TV tax. This is 2024, okay? So are you guys still operating the TV tax? You knock on someone's door and see if they have TV to give them tax. Why don't put the tax when you're buying the TV? It's much easier. Let me know if in Sweden, if this is still being practiced, okay? I would like to know, because this is 2024. He did this video in 2019, so this is like 5 years ago. So this is 2024. I would like to know how accurate this is, okay? I literally enjoy his own opinion about living in Sweden. I literally enjoy this, and I'll see you all in the next one. Please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, like, share, and comment. I have a playlist dedicated to Sweden, so you can do it to check out other reaction I have about Sweden, and I'll catch you guys later.